What's up, guys? I wanted to do a video to talk to the community a little bit, and I will talk a little bit about Motorsport Games and the direction of 704. Well, it's really Motorsport Games now. That's the publisher. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about that. But before I get to that, I just wanted to thank. First of all, I want to thank all of you guys who have been watching my videos. I've been doing this for a long time, even though you wouldn't know it by the size of the channel. I've never been, somebody who's looking for, to grow the channel or to get attention or to monetize or anything like that. That's never been my goal, and it remains that way. The only reason I actually do videos is with the goal of trying to get better NASCAR games. Once in a while, I will drop a video on something unrelated to NASCAR or NASCAR games, and I'll talk about something random, something I might find interesting, or it might be something that I just feel compelled to talk about. But a while ago, I did want to, I thought about talking about other things that do interest me, and most of you guys were against it, and whether it's social or political topics, things like that. And I did respect your wishes. Most of you guys did not want that, so I that's why I never did it. uh, but I do want to thank you guys for sticking around and supporting me, because in a sense, I'm just trying to get better games, and this is really something for all of us. So I wanted to thank you guys, and particularly one person. I got home tonight, and I had a package, and it was weird because I didn't know what the package was. And I opened it, and I'm surprised because it's a die-cast Jamie McMurray car. And I'm like, I never ordered this. And then I asked my wife, did you order this? And she said no. So I'm like, it's not my birthday or anything like that. Uh, why would this come? And it's like, maybe I ordered this a long time ago and forgot, but that wasn't it. So I look inside the box and there's a letter. So I'm going to read that letter to you guys right now. And it says, DC, please accept this offer of gratitude and thankfulness for all the years of time and effort you put into making content and entertaining the community. This was the only way I could see fit to show appreciation other than comment support. I, along with others, have been with you many years, and I think I can speak for those saying we have enjoyed every step of the way. I know I didn't have to do this, but it's in my nature and you earned it. This is the first car out of 541 signed by McMurray in 2015, with the pen color matching the scheme. I hope you enjoy it. God bless you and your family, and be well. P.S. I do not wish for accolades or publicity. It's just a heartfelt thank you to help make it worth it. And I'm going to shout out the person, even though they don't want this. It's Kenny Carroll. Those of you who watch my videos, I'm sure you get involved in the comment section. I'm sure it's a name you'll probably recognize. The one good thing that I could say about having such a small channel is that it's more intimate. And I think, let me take these glasses off. It's more intimate. And I actually I recognize almost every name in the comment section. Once in a while, I'll see somebody I don't recognize. But I do most of you guys who have been around a while, I know who you are in terms of at least in the comment section. And it's Kenny Carroll who sent this to me, and I thank you really from the bottom of my heart. This was a real big surprise to me. I never expected something like this. And with all the negative things happening, today in the world, all the things going on right now, it's a stressful time for everybody. There's a lot of negativity in the air. And this is a reminder that there's a lot of good things out there. And it's really mostly connected to people. And this means a lot more to me. It's not just an item, right? It's the gesture of it really struck a chord with me, and it is really I don't know what to say. I'm really grateful, and it's a beautiful thing that I can't say thank you. I don't know how to put it into words. So thank you, Kenny Carroll. Thank you to all of you guys who do watch and follow. Um, I don't really think that I'm that much of an entertainer. My channel is very basic. It's bare bones. I don't even know how to edit, and I know I could learn and you know really do better job with the videos. I don't have the time or the energy to do that stuff, and because I'm not trying to monetize, it's not a big deal to me. So I just basically I'll take a subject, mostly the same kind of stuff. I'll talk about it. I'll give you my honest opinion, and you guys always come in and we keep that conversation going. Even those of you who have disagreed with me from time to time, you've always been constructive. That's another positive thing about having a small channel. You don't get a lot of just random people looking to just bring negativity or, uh, you know, I don't have a problem with criticism at all. As long as it's constructive, I'm good with it. So I'm really thankful. And before I move on with the rest of the video, I do want to show you guys. It's the McMurray McDonald's car. It is signed by Jamie McMurray. I mean, this is awesome, man. I was not expecting anything like this. Okay, so it's in the box right now, but you could see that, and it's signed, and look at that. What a good looking car. And if I don't know if you guys could see in the mirror, but I got my display. I'm sure you've seen that video before. I've shown it with most of my die-cast cars up there. So this is gonna go up there at some point. And I just take one last look at it. I I'm deeply appreciative and I'm touched. So thank you once again. And I appreciate you guys watching. And hold on, let me put this over here. So moving on from that, I know some of you guys have expressed some doubt as to the future of this franchise, where things are going, and I get a sense. I kind of read into things a little bit. It's not like somebody came straight out and said it, but I do get a sense sometimes from people that they probably feel like uh, this stuff isn't going to go anywhere, and I'm kind of wasting my time. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. There have been times where I've wanted to just give up. I would, I'll ask myself, why am I doing this? These guys aren't going to listen to me. Um, I don't really have a big enough platform. Usually, developers, if they're gonna pay attention to anybody, it's gonna be to a big name with a lot of followers. And naturally, that's the way things work because, yeah, you want to kind of uh, communicate with the people who have the most followers. It makes sense. So I have been surprised that 704 had reached out to me in a small way, but really, even with this new company, Motorsport Games, coming along, they reached out to me as well. And I know you guys, I don't blame you that you're thinking, well, it's just more promises and hype. And, developers and publishers always promise things and they never deliver. And I get it. I'm with you. I understand. And I totally understand those of you who are not going to buy NASCAR Heat 5. I don't blame you. I totally get it. And I've been somebody even from years ago who I've always said this. The best way to communicate, there's two big ways to communicate. One, verbally, right? Which is why I do videos. But even more importantly is with your wallet. And if you don't think something's worth your money, don't buy it. Okay? I've explained why I'm going to buy NASCAR Heat 5. I'm going to support these guys for several reasons. Uh, but I don't expect anybody else to, follow my lead. I don't, I try to just convey my opinions, and I try to keep it there. I don't like go out and tell people, hey, you should do this or don't do that. That's up to you. But the reason I'm gonna support them on this next game is because of several reasons. It's a new publisher taking over. There's a lot of changeover. They're in the midst of hiring people, investing money. A lot of big changes are happening right now. I knew from the moment they announced the next game, I said this is not going to be much more than an update to NASCAR Heat 4. In fact, it's you could call it DLC. It's overpriced, but it is what it is. And I've decided for this one chance, one time I'm going to give these guys a mulligan because I try to be fair. Now, I've always, you guys know I've been critical of all these games and these developers going back to you Technics. And if there's a problem, I'm going to call it out. And if there's a honest criticism to be made, I'm going to make it. I've always been the same way. I don't, uh, there's no reason for me to compromise. My goal has always remained the same. So let's get better games. But in this instance, I do see why we're getting what we're going to get. And I want to be supportive in a fair way. So I want to give these guys that opportunity to show us what you can do. First of all, we don't know how many people they're hiring, what their goal is, or where they are now. I'm sure that whatever their goals were back in January, things have changed. And they're probably still piecing things together. So I don't know what's going on over there. I can only assume, but it's going to take more money. It's going to take hiring more people, and really, uh, some of the things they talked about where they want to go with this series do sound exciting, and it does sound like what we've been asking for to an extent. I am still very concerned about esports, online gaming and that stuff. It's going to take a lot to win me over and convince me that we're ever going to see a online multiplayer system that works with esports and actually in a successful way, especially from a NASCAR game. It might work like with F1. I don't play the F1 series, and I am contemplating trying it. The reason I haven't is because I'm not a Formula One guy, and I'm not a I don't like road course racing. Uh, I like watching it, but to partake, to race, I'm an oval track guy. Um, but I have watched a lot of footage. I watch videos online. I see how great Codemasters and that Formula One series is. So I don't know how they're doing in terms of esports, but I'm sure they're doing better than what NASCAR is doing. I don't. They got a long way to go before I. And you're never going to fully solve the problem with racing real people online. It's a mess. I don't want to get into it further than that. I've talked about that plenty. But what I'm saying is that remains my biggest concern right now. That their focus on the esports side of things doesn't take away from the focus on the offline. That's my big concern. And as long as they are able to do what they need to do on the offline side, I honestly don't care what they do with esports. Um, I had a long conversation with the president of Motorsport Games. And yes, I'm sure a lot of you are thinking, yeah, he's going to tell you all the things you want to hear. You're right. But honestly, what else am I going to do? I can either be really negative and say, yeah, this is all bullshit, it's never going to happen. We're never going to get a great game. We're never going to get the things we've been asking for. I could do that. But once I get to a point where I'm thinking like that, then I really am going to just stop making videos. And it is time to just forget about it, give up, and whatever, and just accept, mediocrity. I am not there yet. And I've seen enough progress in the past couple years that gives me some hope. Listen, I know that NASCAR Heat 3 and 4, they are still substandard to what we should be getting. But by the same token, if I'm going to be fair, then I have to be fair and say, well, 704 did a good job listening and communicating with the community. They didn't give us everything we wanted, but they did try, and they gave us some of the things we asked for. And it's baby steps. I get that. But that's the way it is. You know, there are things you can change, and then there are things that you have no control over. We don't have any control over who makes this game. The idea that we're going to get some magic, company to step in and just give us everything we want, that's not going to happen. You know, 704 got this long 10-year exclusivity deal, which to me, even from the very beginning, it just was strange. Who gives people a 10-year exclusivity like that? I mean, 3 to 5 years, maybe. 10 years? That's an entire decade. And especially for a company that was just starting off from the ground up, I found that to be really strange. But it is what it is. Now, Motorsports Games has taken over. They are investing money into this thing. And henceforth, they have inherited that same 10-year uh, deal. So nobody else is going to make a NASCAR game. It's theirs. So I'm trying to look at the positives, right? That doesn't mean I'm going to run away with believing everything that we see and hear from these people. But listen, they're just starting out, and yeah, there's no guarantee that they're going to give us what Codemasters gives Formula One just because the guys at the top came from there. I get that. I totally understand that criticism, but can we at least let's just give these guys a chance. Let's see what they do. I'm really looking like I honestly, like I said before, I'm gonna get NASCAR 15. I'm gonna see what were they able to do to it. So I think that it would be nice if they, instead of, if they're gonna do another trailer or another information type thing, focus on showing us what makes this game any different from NASCAR Heat 4. I think everyone knows by now that it's not going to be really different, but even the little details show us. Show us the paint booth. Show us the little extra stuff you added. Show us the stats, how it's laid out. Show us what differences there are with the AI, which they said they worked on. It's not a lot, but at least when you show that stuff, people have something to look at and say, okay, you know what? It's a lot of money for what this is, but I'm willing to get it. Hey, it might be worth it to me. If the AI really is that much more improved, that means the racing's going to be that much better for me. It might be worth it. And I'm talking about people who are on the fence, right? Because, yeah, it is overpriced DLC, but show us the details, what makes this game, just a little more improved. That's my suggestion to Motorsport Games. If, for whatever else they got planned, don't release another one of these hokey, over stylized trailer videos that people always walk away from. It's like, you know that's it. But as far as the future goes, I'm really looking to the next gen. I'm looking at a few things. I want to know, you know, I know a lot of you guys don't want to wait, but if I hear that this game is coming out in 2021, I don't know, man. reservations about that, because to me that's not a lot of time to build that first game. That first game is the hardest game to build, because that's the one that's the actual foundation of the entire series. Just like Heat Evolution was the first game for these games, as horrible as Heat Evolution was, it was the blueprint. All these games that came behind it were built off of that, and they've made improvements to it. It's like you built this house. It's a crappy looking house, but every year you renovated something or you did something big to the house. And that's the way I've seen this Heat franchise. But now they're starting over, which I'm glad. There's a next gen consoles coming out. So we are expecting next gen graphics, hopefully at least 60 frames. But the most important thing is, like I said, that first game is the main game that all the games behind it are going to be improved on. So the first game is building every track from scratch, all the assets, all the you know, everything that you see when you play the game, whether it's the tracks themselves or maybe back at the race shop, the menu, all that stuff. That's the ground up. That's right now. That's what they're gonna work on. And once you get all the tracks in there and all the cars rendered and all the right stuff in there and have everything work the way it's supposed to, that's the hardest part. Then, the following games, they're going to go in there and they're going to continue to fix and improve things and make, whatever adjustments they got to make, just like they did with NASCAR Heat Evolution. What I don't want to see is another NASCAR Heat Evolution type of game where it is so bare bones that, the community is not going to stand for that. Okay. And that will really turn me off. And I would rather them take more time with the game. If we have to wait an extra 6 months to a year, so be it. That first game has to be impressive so that people stick with you and say, okay, this is a pretty good game. It, and whatever needs to be added or changed, that will come along. And in the next couple games. But you got to come strong. You can't have a game where people are asking, why is basic, the most basic features missing? You can't do that again. And I know this is a new publisher and there's going to be a lot more people in there. They're still hiring people. And I was told by Steve Hood, the president of Motorsport Games, he said, we're making a bigger investment. It's going to be a lot more money involved. And they're hiring a lot more key people in key areas. So hopefully we're not like making comparisons to like monster games, right? Because this game is still monster games, NASCAR Heat 5, whatever. That was a much smaller group of people working on the game, and 704 is a much smaller publisher at the time, and so they just didn't have the resources they needed. So that was the reason why we get these small improvements. But this time around, that's what I was told. They're making a bigger money investment and they're hiring much more people, and they have the scope of what they want to do is much bigger. So I could be negative. I could say, I don't believe it. We've been through this before. Or I could say, let me wait and see what they actually do. And hopefully they continue to follow me, What If Racing, Elite Precision, all these other guys that do videos, Real Radman, all these guys who do give constructive criticism. Keep listening to us. And if you follow what we want, and it does seem like from what they've talked about, the found what they're looking to do, they didn't get into crazy detail, but from what little they did reveal, I like it, and it sounds like they kind of want to go in that direction that we've been asking for. We don't know all the details, and it's so early, right? So we got a long way to go. And I just want to be fair to these guys. If they need to be criticized, believe me, I've never been shy about criticizing. You guys know that. I've been doing this for almost 8 years now. So you guys know I'm not going to hold pull punches, but I'm also fair. And it wouldn't be fair for me to just be completely negative and ignore any positive stuff. So I've tried every year when I look at these games, I will be positive for the things that deserve it, and I definitely will be critical about the things that need to be criticized. So my biggest thing is that people, when they watch or listen to me, that they get a sense that, okay, this guy's being fair and he's being honest. There's no ulterior motives. He doesn't monetize his videos. He's not looking for attention. He's not asking for subscribers or likes or anything like that. He just cares about getting a better product, cares about NASCAR, and these they are listening. Believe it, believe it. You know, listening doesn't mean you're going to get everything you want right away. You have to keep plugging away at it. It's a long, tedious process, but we have to keep working at it. And trust me when I tell you, it's not normal when developers are communicating with their community, with the consumer base. That doesn't happen every day. That's not the way these guys normally operate. So it's actually good that they have been doing that. And even though a lot of the old 704 guys are gone, some of them are still around. These other guys coming in, uh, you know, I'm sure that they are trying to continue that, you know, tradition going forward. So that's why, you know, you'll see that, you know, I'm trying to be fair. So I could be real negative about NASCAR Heat 5, and I've pointed out, you know, the things I don't like. And the honest truth is, that's what it is. We know this is nothing more than a polished kind of DLC to NASCAR Heat 4. And my biggest problem isn't that, because I understand why we can't get that type of improvement we saw from NASCAR Heat 3 to 4. It's not possible. There's too much going on behind the scenes, trying to hire people, trying to get all the right pieces in place. You know, who knows? Maybe we see enough little details in here that, okay, you know, it makes it somewhat worthwhile. I wish it was cheaper, but it's not. Um, so I'm going to be supportive for now. And I want to see where these guys are going. And I want to really, I think it's only fair to really wait and judge them on the next game for the next gen. If they come out with a game that at least shows promise, that they actually put enough effort into it, that you feel like it's a game that's fully fleshed out, even if it's not perfect, even if, you know, there's a couple of things here and there that you know you wish was in there, but the basics, the we don't want more games that are missing major big features, or even just basic features. And that's what they need to do, because that first impression is a big deal. Because if people feel like they just released another NASCAR Heat Evolution, where it's bare bones and it's just really nothing there, that's going to turn people off. And that's actually going to hurt you from that point forward. So if you have to take longer to make the game, then take longer. Um, I know these guys can't take forever, because they're not a developer that's going to make 10 different types of games. This is all they do. So there is pressure, and there is, you know, they do have to meet certain quotas. I'm just hoping they don't rush a game out. And, you know, those are pretty much my thoughts. This is why I'm supporting this next game, because I'm kind of looking past it. I'm just going to accept it for what it is. Uh, and yeah, I'm going to be honest about it, but I was not expecting anything. So that's why I'm kind of giving these guys that mulligan. And until they actually give me a reason not to believe, I have to give them the benefit of the doubt. I understand those of you who have been turned off from the past and these games haven't really met people's expectations, but I've seen enough there that it shows at least a developer that cares and they're trying. And believe me, you can go to other game communities that are extremely toxic and people are pissed off. People are not happy about Madden football. People are not happy about NBA 2K because those franchises have taken their consumers for granted. And these guys, I think that from what I've seen, they're trying. And I think that it's only fair to give them that chance. So let me stop. The video's long enough. Thanks, Kenny Carroll, again for that wonderful gesture and that gift. And then thank you guys for watching and following these long videos that really are not that entertaining because I'm just really talking about the subject. They're not edited. It's just one guy rambling on about his opinion. So it means a lot to me that you do sit through that stuff and you actually listen. And I know you guys listen because I see the comments. And it's not like people who just randomly pop in and don't have anything constructive to say. So I am grateful to my subscribers and those of you who follow, and let's keep this going, and hopefully we can finally start to see the light. So thanks again, and I'll see you guys when there's something else to talk about later.